Welcome back. So we have an OAP, international sports broadcaster, TV, radio, and a global brand ambassador for over 20 major brands across the world. Former presenter also at a sister brand, Max FM. Back then with Murphy Ijemba. Welcome with us, Sean Amadi. He will be joining the conversation and gisting with the ladies today. Welcome, Sean. It's been a minute.
How is Murphy?
Where have you been?
Murphy's fine. I've been across the globe. I've been everywhere. Still very much involved in projects, and there's a lot we're doing. But yeah, literally flew in a couple of hours ago. So
we'll touch on the project later. So I want us to gist with the ladies.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
Lagos,
to you
Nigeria, and the globe.
Yeah. So before you came on, we were talking about someone who had tweeted on social media saying that it's important that a man sets the tone for his spouse when you're bringing the person to your family, so that the person, your spouse, is not treated anyhow. How you set the tone determines how the spouse will be treated. And there was also a response here. This person says, the way I carry my wife, nobody get mind send a message for family house. Even the one she insisted on doing, they'll be like, leave it all. Ike, your husband, meaning I don't have energy to deal with your husband. And the ladies had shared their thoughts on, how it's important that, first of all, women respect themselves enough to set the tone themselves. And Miriam came with another angle that if you're bringing somebody into a different territory, you are marrying the wife in. Absolutely. You know your territory. You know it's your home. Absolutely. You should be the one setting the tone for how your wife is being treated in your home, because it's your own space. Absolutely. And not you allowing her fight the battles by herself. What do you have to say to this, Sean?
Well, first off, it's a very sensitive topic to some degree. For me, I think, yes, the man has a remarkable amount of responsibility in setting the tone. He does, but you don't want to create a box situation where she's overprotective and she'll be getting some level of resentment from the family. So you want the lady to naturally find herself, just naturally blend into the family. There are some families, it seems like you're throwing the lady to the wolves, but no, let her, have that natural free engagement with the family, because some family members they might look at it differently. They might say, okay, he's putting her in a box, she's in a cage, and once they start to see that, it might not just go down well, for her. It might come back to bite him in the behind eventually.
So can I just agree to what he said? I went to say that when Miriam was saying it. So I know of a particular family whereby when the girl came in, the husband already told the family, don't stress her. She doesn't call like that. Even me too, she hardly calls me. So don't be asking her to call you. Don't disturb her. Don't do this, don't do that. And the family agreed, okay, we would not do it. So every time they come for holidays, that's how she would just sit down. The families will not even disturb her. So there was a day that he went out to visit his friend, and then all the family members, grandma, auntie, all of them gathered her.
Absolutely.
Told her, even though your husband said you should not do this, at least you are our wife. You should be calling all of us. At least for this Ileya, you call all of us. You greet all of us. You send us something. At least as you came to the house, you follow us to the kitchen. You say, okay, can I wash rice? Can I blend these tomatoes? You do something. Assist. That's how you should do.
Absolutely. They
started talking to her. And then at a point, some of the aunties started resenting her.
They would.
She saw it. So when she comes in like this, you see all of them just move their face away. Some will not even greet her. So yes, I understand that the man should set the tune, but then again, that tune can actually be detrimental to the woman's well-being in that family.
Totally.
Setting the tone.
Depends on it. But also, isn't that a problem? For me, I feel I don't have to be told to call them. I don't have to be told.
Hey,
like I'm wait.
Person.
Yeah, so that exactly.
Can we
so not just that's just an example, of course. But I'm saying that there's something like the example that I made, that in my own home, when you come into my house, you're actually treated like a king. You're not expected to do anything. But eventually, the longer you stay in a house, it's expected that you want to be involved. Because not being involved, you yourself will feel like you've been left out.
Absolutely.
And I feel that any mature person who is in a relationship understands that you must find your way around.
Absolutely.
But the tone that needs to be set is a tone of respect. This is something I want from your spouse. how do you ask me to do it? For her case, it's because she had been so protected, they felt that they had to gang up to send her a message. Meanwhile, this is a conversation that could have happened over the phone, easy peasy, but we had to create a situation where they had to gang up. Even that gang up was not needed. That gang up was not even needed.
They had built
their
it up.
tone, their style,
Yeah,
their style of addressing it, for me, they didn't need a gang up.
But that's to you.
Yeah,
but we have a caller.
Sorry,
I'll come back to all of you. We have
that.
Musa on the line. Good morning, Musa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Lady of the View, good morning and Happy New Year to all.
Good morning, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
All what you people are saying concerning this topic is well spelled out by you people. You know, naturally, a man supposed to protect his wife, even during the courtship, before you bring her in.
Okay.
To even meet your family, all those. Because when I wanted to marry, our marriage is about like 21 years now. We are into like courtship 60, almost 27 years.
Wow.
When I'm bringing my, even the area that I want to marry immediately I told my people that is where I want to marry from. They did not agree with me because they normally see that area as a very bad people.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know, what I told them, I said, I'm into this relationship. They are not with me when I started it. They should just exercise patience and observe this girl. You know, because me, in nature, I know that this girl is very good before I marry her. You know, when this girl eventually came in, I leave her. I did not even advise her to do this, to do this. But as I'm talking to you presently, almost 21 years of our wedding, they are very okay with my wife.
She found her way.
Absolutely.
Anything that he's not supposed to do, he will not do it. I'm not even advise her. You know, I did not even tell her almost that my people initially, they did not even want me to come and marry from her. But when they see her attitude, everything, all of them is okay with her.
They fell in love with her.
I'm
well
telling
done.
you, that is it. But you have to send that boundary before she, not that you come and set her up against your people. Or you set your people against her. No, I did not do that. For almost 21 years, by special grace of God.
Congratulations.
We live happily and we are living happily with our marriage and with other things.
Brilliant.
That is it.
Brilliant.
Actually, a man is supposed to do that protection before the woman enter the house.
Comes into the
That
home.
is what I feel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Musa, for that contribution.
Valid point, valid point. But for me, there is a fine line between protecting the lady and setting the tone. I think time also has its own part to play in all of it, where over a period of time, knowing the family and the family getting to know the lady in question, and that's what helped this marriage. 21 years, a lot goes into it. Lots of compromises and lots of sacrifices and lots of, it's a push and pull relationship, with the family. And she also, the onus is on the lady to also show his family a degree of respect, because you earn respect. You can't demand it.
Yeah.
So even if he tells the entire family, even if she's a royal, I've been privileged to meet royals. Royals do not like to be treated like royals. Even if she's from a royal family, one thing is they would see an individual first. So if you're dealing with an individual, if I do not treat you with respect, I can't expect respect from you. So you have to allow the relationship just fester naturally. Because if you ever protect her, that ganging up wasn't literally a ganging up. That's the
aggression.
Yeah, that's the only window they saw. The man in question wasn't there. So they were like, okay, let's just tell her the ground rules. Now this is these are demands. And it's not fair on the lady. The onus too is on the man to paint a picture for the lady in question.
My dad passed, and my sister-in-law a few months after said, all of you are strange because daddy died, you're acting strange towards me. And she was really crying. I felt immediately that something had disconnected. My father is extremely kind, and he seemed like, this is the kindest person, but he's a product. But there was a disconnect, because in my family, you can't talk about our sisters-in-law. You can't, as the children of the home, we can't have a sit-up where and we're women, we're more women than men. We can't have a sit-up, and my father was just walking, everybody keep quiet and go to your houses. And so we never had a point where we expressed, disagreements. There was never a fight until he passed. And so the moment he passed, the first fight, she felt estranged, she missed him, she cried, and I was like, this should have happened while he was alive. You set the authority, everybody ends respect with time.
Absolutely.
And we're quite older than she is and her husband. And so there's possibility for a difference to grow.
Absolutely.
Now, I wanted to disagree when you said the man sets the tone. Certain families have values a man would agree with that would not work for his wife.
Absolutely.
And so when he sees it being pushed at her, it might be impossible for her to carry out. But he will say, but there's nothing strange there. There's nothing wrong there because he doesn't see it as wrong. Imagine my auntie attended her first Ileya in her husband's family house just after introduction, not even the wedding, with her cooks.
Oh, wow.
It's been a tradition for the women of that family, as wealthy and exposed as they were, for the women to partake in the cooking. Till she came, there were just a few women. And imagine them finishing a cow per day. And the men would be jollificating because they didn't see anything wrong. And the first woman who came in just carried on. She said, no, I'm going there the way they do in my own place. She attended with her 2 helps. Until date, every woman comes with 2 helps.
Really?
That's 8 helps.
I like that.
So, she told me that I didn't take that advice. I paid dearly for it because I stayed with her. She mentored me growing up.
Wow.
And imagine me showing up at my own as first daughter-in-law without my help.
Very interesting.
It took me years to change mindset because I made it work that first day. So it's expected this next year. Even the year I came with cooks, the cooks were sent out. It was expected, Before I could fight it off, I had to cancel showing up. I said, okay, this year, you people should do your... Since Salah is punishment, it's no longer enjoyment.
So you unplugged yourself?
I had to unplug myself. And it will take you more of a rebellion to change things. In my sister's family, she was overprotected. Her husband said it, so he would hold her hand whenever they are coming, so nobody says anything. They ganged up, not that he went out, they sent him out. Called the boys of the family to say, take him out, let him go for a stroke.
So conflict resolution is an issue here for me.
So, no. Certain families, what people see as wrong, as acceptable, varies.
I totally agree.
Her exposure.
Totally agree.
So you're coming from one place, and my father believes that she's born by a different family, she will come with her different values. So you want to change it, you don't confront. Whereas if that confrontation had happened when he was alive, he would understand his daughter-in-law, he would understand his daughters.
And then find a way to resolve it.
But we were never allowed. So I saw my sisters and my sister-in-law, I was just looking at all of them and laughing that, this should have happened while he was alive, and it happened later. It took God's intervention to bring sanity back.
Isn't that the same as I'm saying that because he didn't set the tone, the husband didn't set the tone. So setting the tone for me is not only about asking you to do things you don't want to do, blah, blah, blah. Setting the tone is also preparing the person coming in of what is expected.
Makes sense.
So that she didn't know is that the tone was not set
properly.
It was not set on that side. It was not set on your side. It was not set on the side.
But let me take this call, and then you come back to your disagreeing. We have Wisdom from Navy Town. Good morning, Wisdom.
Hello,
Are you there?
Wisdom.
I don't think we have Wisdom.
Okay, so certain women come in, and we must accept that women come with their own different, how do you call it?
As well.
No, I'm talking about women now because we come into families.
Okay.
Some women come in pretentious. Some women come in and take advantage of the protection their husband has given them. Take it as an opportunity to spoil and destroy some members of family. The way your sister looked at me. That's your brother's wife, the way she looked at me. Because you know your husband is protective of you and you know this didn't happen. You don't even make an effort.
Absolutely. Okay. So she's
taking
advantage.
So you just enjoy your protection till the women start to build up the aggression in the example we gave. Then you have a final confrontation. You don't even know where to go. So take your time coming kind. Respect the people. Don't build up what you didn't see. Don't allege what you didn't see. If a person didn't greet you, accept that maybe they have a bad day. She came in, she has a bad day. As a mother-in-law, my daughter-in-law, are you on the monthly flow? Is that why you're moody? Because you're a woman. You can excuse something like that. Make such an excuse. I was supposed to say, that picking rude. Now, maybe she waka past like that. You don't even know she's in pain. Having your daughter-in-law maybe having a secret thing she's dealing with, on maybe certain injections hormonally, and she's coming to the family house and she's not in the mood, and you're assuming she's badly raised, and you generalize it, you say to one person, two persons, and everybody just say, not true, whereas the person is having a personal problem.
Perception will become reality. So I think there's a part we're forgetting. The oldest form of politics starts from the home.
Family.
There is a political undertone in every relationship.
Exactly.
Just as she said, there are ladies who would be introduced to a family, and from the get-go, there's an agenda. the lady in question has an agenda. You know, my mission here is to split this family in half and take half the family's fortunes with me.
Wow.
So there's always an undertone, and this is me being quite candid. You know, talked about the lady in question who's taken advantage of the husband's protection. A lot of families can see through it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, even if you're putting up a show, for how long would you put up the show for? They can cut through and see through and say, okay, she has an agenda here. Now the family goes into protection mode for their son in question. So it's politics, and like I said initially, it's a push and pull, but the most important part of it is getting to understand the family first. So and that's why you have to make it a very natural process, as opposed to overprotecting the lady. She sees the protection, takes full advantage of it, splits the family in half and hits the road.
So we have a caller on the line, Samson from Amowodofi. Good morning, Samson.
Good morning. My name is Samson. Once again, I want to bring my contribution to this
Go ahead,
discussion.
please.
Let me one like it. I have a personal experience, and yeah, it also depends on the family below, depends on where you are coming from, depends on your background.
Okay.
And when I first took my girlfriend home, of course, I grew up in an environment where I was almost like a houseboy, and when she came, she joined me. To do a lot of the course I was doing, washing clothes. That was what I was doing. She joined me, and I love it till tomorrow. And eventually, we got married. And along the line, I think my uncles wanted her to continue in that same way. That's okay. Even when I'm not around, she has to come to the house, even when she wasn't living there, to wash clothes, to clean.
Yeah,
and then when I came back during the family meeting, this was, and I told my uncle off point blank. This is the last time you mention my wife in a discussion like this, because my wife cannot continue from where I stopped. She's my wife now, she has to be respected, the family. And that put a seal on all this stuff, and she got her respect at the appropriate time. Then I became a parent, then my children just started to get married, and the truth. And I didn't intervene. I also said, okay, we have to allow the women or the girls to find their feet by themselves. No pretentious movement. The family has the DNA. Allow the girl to recognize the DNA and feed it to it. Then we won't intervene if things happen that we don't like. Then my also brought up the girl home, and then we were talking dining table. All of them were in a big dining table. And then I was going to talk to my second son. That his girlfriend was also talking to him, and he was telling my son, listen to me first before you listen to my dad. And of course, at the end of that word, I continued. But my first son said to me, said to her, you can't do this in this family. You can't talk down my daddy. You have to get up from this table now. Eventually, I intervened because there was going to be a misunderstanding between the girl and my first son. But my second son kept quiet all through, and I like it. So when all the discussion ended, we had my boys, we have 3 boys and 1 girl. They met and said, this girl has to leave. They called to my table and I said, if the girl can learn to change, if she cannot change, she also has to leave. I stood by them, the girl eventually left.
Okay.
My son got married to another, so it's 2 months. So it depends on where we are coming from.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samson, for sharing that. So, personally, I believe that there must be a form of tone setting. The man should be able to set a tone for how his wife, his spouse, is going to be treated in the family. But I also believe that wisdom is very important as a woman. You know, when you come into a family, whether they have set the tone, they haven't set the tone, how do you come into the family? Do you come guns blazing? Do you come ready to fight everyone? Or do you come as a good person who is willing to compromise, who's willing to have conversations, you know, depending on how they also treat you?
Absolutely.
So I remember my own relationship where we started, and the tone was set very clearly. In fact, from the gate, you know that this guy is in love with this person, so we have to treat her right. But that didn't mean that I came into the compound or into the family, sitting down, crossing my legs and waiting for people to serve me. I respected mommy. I respected daddy. I did what I was supposed to do. I became friends with the siblings. In fact, that they fight my battle when it comes to my husband. In fact, my mother-in-law told me point blank, no woman will try you. I'm behind you, right? So I didn't wait for him to just, tell them that you can't do this, you can't do that, and then I sit down and I'm waiting for everybody to serve me and I'm disrespecting people. So you have a role to play, whether they set the tone or not. The tone is very important because I also had someone else who came into the family and that tone wasn't set and it was not pleasant. So the tone is very important as a woman. And like Miriam rightly said, you are the one bringing this person to your own territory. You know your family better.
Absolutely.
You know them. You know how you can, you know, get your wife to understand them better. We are constantly having this conversation. When it comes to my family front, I protect my husband. Yeah, you know, there are some things you don't say. Don't call him directly for something. Don't. I do that. And they give him that respect. Then when we come to his own side, he does that for me. So I would remind him that you have not spoken to my daddy in a bit. Oh, call him. I don't want wahala. You know, we fill in the gap for one another, for each other. Yeah. So it's very important that as they are setting the tone for you, yourself, use your brain. Use your brain.
I like what you said. I just want to talk about wisdom as a woman. Yes, I'm 39. I'm just 5 years in marriage. But one thing I've learned in marriage is that as a woman, you must use that your wisdom IQ when dealing with your in-laws. I don't know how to call it.
You have to put it together. You need that way. Now, you need to put it together.
Everything.
Use it.
It makes a great deal of sense.
No, but you have to. Yeah. So I'll just give you a small example. I love my in-laws. I love them. They would never stress me, especially my mother-in-law. But my husband actually set the tone. Do you know that there's a kind of tone that your partner would set that the family might not accept it, but they cannot kill him. So they don't like him, but
they go manage.
They just manage him.
Compromise.
And that's something that I saw happen in my home when we just got married. So when we just got married, like 6 months into the marriage, my mother-in-law came in. I was pregnant, and then she immediately I was at work, and she immediately entered the kitchen. And my husband was like, "No, you cannot enter my wife's kitchen like that. You must wait until she comes."
Yeah.
So he has already set the tone now, right?
Oh, wow.
She wasn't happy about the tone. She was very sad.
We said that to his mom.
Yeah, he said
was
that to his mom.
something you like?
Interesting.
Oh no, I had to use
appreciate?
I had to
She's
use
giving
that
us
wisdom.
a story, yeah.
No, I had to put on the lights, to be honest. So when I came in, oh mommy, Roma, you do, hope you are fine. But I just noticed that she wasn't fine.
Straight face.
She put on a straight face. I was like, what happened? And I said, Tunde, what happened? He said, she just wanted to cook. I said, don't enter the kitchen.
I said, what?
I said, mommy, sorry. Mommy, you're my mother. You're supposed to enter my kitchen. My husband was upset. He was like, no, you're supposed to stand. When I say something, you're supposed to stand by me. I said, Tunde, he did they try.
No, set you try.
I would not.
Set me up.
I'm like, I would not. That's where wisdom takes place. So, in as much as your husband will set the tone, you as a person too, you have to apply wisdom and set the tone for yourself too, so that they will be able to say, Sarah will not like this thing, and that's what my mother-in-law does now, because I've already set the tone for myself. So that's kind of thing that she would want to do, and she'd be like, oh, Sarah would not like this. She made this clothes for me. She knew what I wanted. So the tailor was saying, no, sew something very tight. She was like, no, Sarah would not like it. So set the tone for yourself.
Yeah, so let's take this call, then I'll come to all the ladies, everyone else. Yes. So Beauty from London, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Beauty. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Yes, so I just want to give my own view on this. I'm an Igbo lady married to a Yoruba. Now, I've been married for like 6 years now. I really want to.
How many years?
When it comes to 18 years.
Wow. Veteran.
That's amazing.
18, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so when it comes to things about, family, setting boundaries, as a lady, when you get married to, like for me, getting married to a different tribe, you're expected that when you're greeting your mother-in-law, you have to go for everything. And there's a way we should have respect by, bowing down ourselves to greet, So for me, the first day I saw my in-laws, the first day I traveled to Osun State to visit, I was just new. One thing with me is all this eye service thing I don't do, I was just new. But I saw that being new and me that respect. I respect and I'm a humble person. So my mother has seen me for the first time. The way she welcomed me, even when I was trying to greet her, the way she welcomed me, took off her wrapper and was spreading it that I should walk in, because my husband is the only son. But then I saw that warm welcome. But I haven't been married for some months. During that early stage, I noticed that my sister-in-law called me and she would say to me, have you visited Ife? Have you gone to see Mommy? I want you to go and be visiting every week. When you go help them to do some house choice. I didn't see that as something that it was something I was expecting. So immediately I said, okay, I've had. And I called my husband. And my husband was like, don't worry. And then he fixed it. And that was the last time she ever said something. So yeah, sometimes the husband can come in when they to overstep some certain boundaries. If that is what other women do, but for me myself, it's not something that she knows very well I can't do. I can't leave my job or start traveling to and fro from here to here because I need to do certain things because I'm married to a son. So yes, for me sometimes it's even the sister-in-laws that can be a little bit hectic.
Sisters-in-law.
That's where your husband comes in.
Thank you so much, Beauty, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Who was ready? Mary.
Yes, I was going to say that, in setting the tone, we must understand that there are some people that will abuse it. And that's a different conversation.
We have conflict resolution.
Then there's, yes, and then there are some people, because they have set a tone and they've protected you, there's some people, like you highlighted, that will abuse it. But, for me, I feel that those are special cases. And those special cases need special resolution. And also in conflict resolution, it does not have to be ganging up, guns blazing, killing you, hanging you on a cross. There are different ways to have a conversation because we're family, And the wisdom that you talk about, for me, I wouldn't have mentioned wisdom because for me, I feel like it's common sense. I mean, you should, as if, in your 30s, you would have achieved some form of common sense on how to relate with people. So you find yourself in a situation where it's a bit dicey. It looks like I'm going to be in between the father and husband and mother here. What do I do? I mean, especially for you, well, you're married to an African man. So it's not as if you have gone and married a Ukrainian man. You don't even know what to do or what is expected. I watched this movie, one of these Christmas movies recently, and I thought it was the funniest thing. She's from one of these countries like Finland or something, a lady, and she had and she had an Indian boyfriend that she took to her house. So they were supposed to have a New Year's meal, or was it Christmas? And he goes out of his way to prepare the best Indian meal for them, like a whole spread. They were so upset because in their house you cook their meal for that particular. It's not right. You are invited into a home and you accept it. I said, African wife or mother, say that is your husband. That's the man that came into my house and cooked food for us. That's your husband. But in their family, they were so upset. He was too forward. Who gave him the right to be, So the thing is, that's where the setting of tone comes in. The person coming does not know all the rules. You know the rules, so you're preparing the person. But there's some little conversations that happen here where that person's wisdom or common sense will come into play. And then where there's a clash, because no matter what, however well you have set the tone or however well you have protected someone or how much common sense you have, you definitely have conflict. So always put that. You can never be 100% positive. So there'll always be clashes. And how you resolve that conflict is important.
Matters. We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.